Hi, so today we're going to be presenting the A2 assignment with the team members of Mubin, myself, Jose, Samuel, Patricio, and Daniel. First, what we're going to do is we're going to be deciding on the best restaurant location, what type of service should it be provided, and what's the menu that's going to be on this new restaurant that we choose. So to be able to do that, we're going to pull some data sets that contains the items of the menus in this many restaurants, all of the locations of all of the restaurants, and how many orders have been done daily on these restaurants. We need to import the Pandas and Matplotlib libraries so that the analysis is done completely. Pandas is going to help us transform and join and do different things with databases, which are going to be made from these files that we're going to be loading. And the loading files are going to be the items, the orders, and restaurants, and different variations of the orders, like order sevens and summarized orders are different types of ways of viewing the same information. The 88 is the exploratory data analysis, and how it's done is that we first have to clean the data so that the errors are minimized, and we make sure that the analysis is being done with clean data sets that are worth of analyzing, right? So first we define a function. This is done because we're going to be using it on different data frames, so we don't want to do the same line of code for different data frames. So we make it once, and we're going to be calling it up for different data frames. What arguments are this using? We're going to provide it with a data frame and the name of that data frame. This is explained here. And what's the code doing? It's going to count the amount of nulls that are on the data frame. And if it is, if it has nulls, it's going to pull a text that is going to show that null values have been found and the amount of null values that it found. Otherwise, it'll print that there's no null values and we're all set. So we do this for all of the data frames that we just loaded, and we see that there's 3 which contain no null values, and it's going to be the items, the restaurants, and the summarized orders. But then we have the orders and order 7 that contain null values. So what are we going to do for this? We're going to clean it. And how are we going to do it? We're going to drop this subset where the main base, side 1 and side 2, are all null. And if this is true, it's going to drop it. And we only want complete, we don't want empty rows. That's basically what we don't want. And with this, we start having the data. We're going to be doing some transformations. So now we're going to merge the orders. And how are we going to do it? We're going to pull the orders data frame and the restaurant, and we're going to use the restaurant ID key and join it with a left join so that the information from the orders stay and it joins with the restaurant information. Now we're going to count the amount of orders that are being done, and this is going to be called daily orders, and it's the merge orders that we had, and it's going to be grouped by the date, the name, and then this order ID.count that is going to be called num orders. So this is the name of the new column. It's going to be date, restaurant name, and num orders, and we print it. So now we have what it's the date, the restaurant name, and the num of orders. This is important because now we have basically what are the most popular restaurants based on orders and how many people are coming into these restaurants. So after that, we just do a check before we start analyzing, and we do daily orders from this data frame that we just made. We pull the number of orders on the summarized orders list, and then we print the difference to see what's the difference. And it's basically the null ones that we removed, so it's okay. This should be fine, and the data set is completely ready to be analyzed. Coming back to the daily orders, we see we're going to check that the minimum and the maximum date. Well, first, we're going to join the information of the orders with the restaurants. It's another left join, and now we're going to see how many, what's the first date where it has information, and what's the maximum date. Basically, so that the analysis it's being done fairly, and it is because we see that the time frame for all the restaurants in which it has recorded orders is from 1 year. So we should be good. And now we print this table that shows the amount of orders per restaurant ID, and it's ordered by the descending way, so that we just find, and we're going to base our criteria of the best restaurant with the one that has the most orders. Now we're going to make this a little bit more visual and better, but basically we know that this is going to be the restaurant that we're going to pick. And we start creating the x-axis and the y-axis. This one is going to pull the IDs, and then this one's going to count the amount of orders. It's the same information that we already have here, and we're going to be sorting it. We're going to be plotting it, and after that we use here the matplotlib where we create the figure, the size, what is going to be on this chart. So it's a bar chart that has its restaurant sorted and the amount of orders sorted. Then it's the X label. We're pulling the names of this, so it's number of orders, restaurant orders, restaurant IDs, and the title is going to be restaurant orders sorted. And after that, we just do some rotation of the ticks. It's going to be 90 degrees, so it's this that is showing here, and tight layout so that it fits the graph that we're showing. So we do plot show, and this is what we get. And basically, it's the same thing as we had in the table, but we know that this is going to be the restaurant that we're going to be choosing. Now, how do we know what is this? Like, which restaurant is this one? So we're going to be doing a more detailed group by, and we're going to pull different things. So we pull the restaurant name, and we're going to add it. See, we're going to do the restaurant's log of the restaurant ID that matches the best restaurant that we chose, which is this one. We're going to be pulling the name, address, longitude, and latitude. So this is what it's done. It's NYU in this location, and now we got the location of the restaurant. Now, what type should it be? This, we're going to do it based on a percentage. So we do the type and order ID. So we know that it's in-store pickup or delivery, and then we do in a percentage way the total amount of orders, and this is how many orders are done in different types. Here it is the whole analysis for all of the restaurants, and we see that it's mainly focused in in-store, some pickup, and then delivery. And then we want to benchmark it with our restaurant. So we make a filter here that chooses only our restaurant, the one that we chose, and we do the same code to get almost the same information, which confirms that our store and our restaurant still should be an in-store service type. We plot it in a pie chart, and this is the same thing. We use the figure, we adjust the size. Now it's a pie, it's not a bar. It has a title and axis, and we show it. So this confirms visually what we just saw on the table, and it says 73% in-store, so that's what it should be. Now we print the items for what should it be on the menu. This is the whole menu. We group it by the item type, and we count how many types of things there are. And we see that this bases, cold sides, desserts, drinks, mains, market sides, and sauces. And this is how many are of this. We're going to decide to choose 3 mains, 2 bases, 4 sides, 5 drinks, 1 dessert, and 4 sauces. So now we have, we count the amount of occurrences of each item, and we're going to concatenate it, and we're going to group it, put it on a data frame, and print it. Now we have the item ID and how many times it has been ordered. Now this table, we want to join it with all of the other information. So this is what this for loop is going to do. It's going to go to the items, the original items dataset, and it's going to add the order count that is this new that we have based on the matching ID that it has. And how does that look? If we come here and we print it, we have the same information, the item ID. Now we got the name, so it's the charred chicken meatball mains, but now we have the order count. And this is how we're going to be choosing the best meals that we should be pulling. So for the top 3 main sides, it's going to be the main meals. We're going to do it by the top 3 based on order count. And there's the IO, I3, and I1. So this is the ones that we're choosing for the menu. Then we're going to create our menu data frame, which is going to store the menu that we are creating. This is really important. And now we're going to add the other information about these 3. So what is it? It's a charred chicken meatball, a herb roasted, and a spicy meatballs market bowl. So we have the first 3 things of our menu. Now we're going to create a dictionary where we're going to store the base, the side, and basically the base and 2 sides that are going to be paired and are paired with the main meals that we have chosen. So we do this. We filter the orders for the current main meal. We count the base of occurrences that for the current meal. We count the side 1 occurrences of with the current meal, and we do it with this other thing, and we store it in the dictionary. Basically, this is going to be the key, and this is going to be the value that is going to be what we are pulling from the for loop. So now if we print it, we see that the main meal IO, I3, and I3, and I1, basically the best one is I6 as a base. And then I15 and I10 repeats on all of those. So we know that this one should be in our menu. So we're going to add them here. And it is shown the farm greens with mint, the roasted sweet potatoes, and the snap peas. Now we got to choose 1 more base and 2 more sides. So we're going to do it based on the order of what's next after we chose this ones. So we already have the farm greens with mint. So we're going to add the I7 that is far with summer vegetables. We add it to the menu. And basically we keep doing the same thing with the sides. So we already got some sides. We're going to choose the other ones. So it's I8 and I11. And we are adding them to the menu. Now we're going to add some drinks. There's no information of which drinks were ordered, but we're going to choose different types because it's really important to have a different variation and show variety on our menu. So we added them. It's lemonade, iced tea, grapefruit water, sparkling water. Then we are going to add 1 dessert. It's just going to be the I40. And the sauces, we're going to add them all. So this is how we came up on our menu. And we're going to print a conclusion, which contains just the location that we discovered in the beginning. That's going to be in New York, NYU. It should be an in-store, and it has to be this menu based on what's the most popular in all the restaurants that we have seen. So thank you so much.